Hello and welcome to another episode of Season 8 of the Lawyers Learning Center with DHIA podcast. This season, we will be talking all about today's cyber exposures, cyber liability, and protecting your law firm against cyber threats. Tune in every Thursday and check out the description for more related resources. Today, we are discussing what multi-factor authentication is, how it protects data, and why you should use it for absolutely everything. Let's dive right in. What is multi-factor authentication? Multi-factor authentication is also referred to as MFA. It's a way to verify user identity. MFA requires the user to provide at least 2 verification factors in order to gain access. This multi-layered security method protects data and applications from unauthorized access. The most common MFA factors are text and email. When you enter your password to access an account, you're prompted to verify your identity with a time-sensitive code that's either texted or emailed to you. Typically, you have 15 to 60 minutes before that code expires, and you will have to get a new code in order to access your account. Once you enter in that one-time code, you'll then be granted access. Some newer factors being used are fingerprints, iris or face scans, and other biometric data to prove your identity. Newer, as in these biometric methods, are now available on even your smartphone. So with these methods, rather than a code that you have to enter, the biometric MFA uses your fingerprint or the other biometric scan to verify your identity. This security measure defends against unauthorized access and protects your data by requiring you to know more than just your password. If a hacker were to discover your login credentials, they'd have the ability to access your account. The multi-factor authentication acts as an additional firewall that safeguards your data. Hackers get better every day. If you are solely relying on a single password to protect your accounts and data, you're only making it easy for cyber criminals to access and steal your information. Think about your Google or your Outlook account. You pop in your password and you have full access to your email, your calendars, YouTube, and any web apps that you may have connected. Access to your Google or Outlook account also gives you access to your security settings. If a hacker were to know your email and password, they would have access to everything. And if they knew of any other accounts you have, like your bank account or your legal software, they could reset your passwords since they have access to your email address. There has been a wave of recognition on the vulnerabilities here, and MFA is becoming more common and sometimes is being required. Okay, if you are not sold yet on implementing MFA to all of your accounts, maybe compliance will teeter your decision to take action. There are compliance standards like GDPR and NIST that require sophisticated security policies. Multi-factor authentication has a large presence and a heavy impact on fulfilling any compliance obligations companies may have. Look into your state and your local compliance requirements to make sure you are following any rules and regulations that may apply to the security of running a law practice. Don't let passwords and MFA cause fatigue and breed laziness. There's no real tricks out there to prevent fatigue. It can be exhausting adapting to having to do the second and third method of verification. But the one thing you can do is educate yourself and your team. Being aware of all the horrors lurking around cybersecurity can be a great motivator to take the extra steps in protecting your data. Acknowledging the repercussions of failing to protect your data and comply with the protection of your client's privacy can really put the extra effort into perspective. Take the time to understand the why so you can be determined to take the measures needed to prevent unauthorized access to your data. $173.5 billion. That's what the global cybersecurity market is worth. The US is marked at nearly $68 billion. Those numbers are appealing to cybercriminals. And the sensitive, confidential information law firms keep make any size firm luring. 2023 held the record for cybersecurity breaches in the legal industry. A recent article from Dark Reading and Comparitech share that law firms were hit with an average of 2.5 million in ransom demand, and that the amount of legal files stolen in 2023 were more than the previous 5 years combined. That is huge. Consider the direction that all the statistics and data out there on cybersecurity are pointing. It's all pointing toward more attacks and more vulnerabilities. They're coming and will continue to climb viciously as cybercriminals creatively attack businesses and individuals. Brace yourself and your business by taking necessary measures to safeguard sensitive information of yourself, your business, and your clients. If you aren't using multi-factor authentication for all of your accounts, get them all set up. MFA is an extra layer of security that prevents unauthorized access to accounts and prevents identity theft. Implement MFA for all your business accounts and profiles. Standardize and enforce the use of MFA in your law firm. Take today's episode as your sign to recognize the exposures and the vitality of safeguarding your information with the simple but effective multi-factor authentication method. Thank you for tuning in to the Lawyers Learning Center with DHIA podcast. We are so glad you're here with us and hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, we invite you to subscribe to the podcast and share the episode with someone you think could benefit from it. Please leave your thoughts or questions in the comments. Help us improve and better serve you. Subscribe to the podcast or sign up for email reminders to make sure you catch every episode.